Hello everyone, Air is with you. In today's video, I'll show you new features of Unreal Engine. In Unreal Engine video. Version 5.3, the ability to create skeletons within the engine itself has appeared. You can create a skeleton for any static mesh. I will be demonstrating on version 5.3.2, which is currently valid at the time of shooting, and we are starting the project. I just launched it, then we go into the settings, plugins, and we need to find a plugin Skeletal Mesh editing tools. Check the box, click OK, click restart. Our project will be rebooted. The plugin is enabled. We check yes, the plugin is enabled. We then close the content driver. Let me choose. I have a small asset. Here I'll choose static mesh. Here are my assets. So I'll choose this inflatable shark or dolphin. Let's open it. Yes, this is our inflatable dolphin-like for the pool. So antenna driver, right? Click on it. A convert to skeletal mesh button appeared. It wasn't there before we enabled the plugin. We click on the convert to skeleton mesh button. Here they offer us a skeleton import, meaning we can use some ready-made skeleton, export, but we will create a new one. Click convert. Here we are creating, see, a skeleton and a mesh skeleton. We are interested in the mesh skeleton. We press the mesh skeleton. Here is our goldfinch already. Ready, and this is exactly the editor's window. Our skeleton. Then we go into the skeleton and press add skeleton. Here we all can edit our bones. So here is the skeleton 3. This is our main bone. Let's lift it up a bit. This is our Donald Show. Object, it is too low. Then we select root. Click the little green plus and new bone. That is to create a new bone. So I'm creating a new bone roughly here. Then I also create more bones and draw them forward to the head of our little dolphin. So let it be slightly higher. Yes, it is slightly higher. Probably also needed. I invite you. So here we probably still need to add a bone in front of the dolphins. Alright, gem from these bones. Again, we create a new quest. Just where our top fin will be, it will be moving right here. There will be a hinge at this point. We give up the top. So basically we're adding bones to our object. Meaning previously what to do. For instance, if we need to work with some skeletal mesh, some object that we made, for example, with Blender, if you're using a Blender, you can even make bones in it. But sometimes it happened that we needed to, for example, edit the bones, remove bones, add the bones. By the way, this is Gulang. Actually, when transitioning from the 4th to the 5th version, there, for the extra bones at the television, some Unreal Engine emerged.
To be
from the
continued.
epics. I've also encountered a couple of times that I had to slightly edit the bones and had to unload. It turns out and then edit in another program and then drop it in Unreal Engine. This took a lot of time, especially if you are with other programs. You don't know how to work. You need to download them, learn there and so on. Although you only need to add a couple of bones, for example. So here I did, and now look where our bone is. Let's take from this bone. I'll create a bone and move it a bit. Then we'll take it there. Why on the right? Because my object is slightly misoriented. It needed to be rotated 90 degrees. But we won't do this because we don't really need to. I just want to show you how it works in general. So let's do it here, right where we have our shiner. It'll be roughly here. I'll create another bone. I won't be making a lot of bones, it's just to show you, depending on the object there, you cannot you create as many bones as you need. And look, a good function is mirror, that is to mirror our bones. We remove the top bone, which needs to be decorated. Press mirror and that's it. Especially if you have an object, for example, that you made or somewhere in Posty that is, it can be mirrored, or another of our objects. Our little dolphin is more or less mirrored, everything's fine. And by the way, we need to check it here properly. Here and here is not normal. So here and this should have been done earlier. Well, that's how I mirrored it, so as not to bother with this. So we check the perspective. Well, it seems everything is okay in perspective too. Well, that's it. By the way, you can also add bones for the framework. For more smooth movement, so we set the bones, press apply. Okay, press the skin, press bin skin, press apply. What's this? What did we do? What about a skin character? There he is, and this is exactly the influence bones on skin. Specifically what? For instance, we go into edit, press the bone, see the rear fin is right here for us. What will be moving? This part is supposed to move. Here the snout should move and so on. And I'm a cook and edit. Why edit? Everything seems fine, more or less. Look, we go into our skeleton. We press, for example, I don't know, the upper fin. And you say we're moving the fin. And so much extra, even our tail moves here. And to fix this, we go back to Skeletal Mesh, where our top fin is located. And by the way, yes, you can change the name of bones, and it's better to do so. So it's clear what it is. And if, for example, you're already making a skeleton for something ready, like doing retargeting, that is, the names of the bones should match. Keep this in mind, especially if you are making humanoids. You need to take this into account. So where is our little tail? Yes, here's the join actually. See, it spreads there, and we press multiply on 0 by default. It will put you on 1, set 0, and you remove it. Remove all the paint so that it doesn't affect the color. By the way, you can set it at your discretion. That is, the minimum color and maximum color are set by default. I will not touch it. Let's make the brush bigger, otherwise it's spread all over the little dolphin. Because of him, our entire dolphin is moving. Depending on where you put the bone, he automatically wants this. Regulate everything. If you set the bone just perfectly according to some algorithm, you won't have to go there. He suffers a lot, like I do now, but again, still have to edit a bit probably. There are also nuances of working, for example, with narrow objects. To the bone exhibition. It's problematic, and with low polygon models the drawing there is so-so. I tried to work with low poly models. He also has constant troubles of his own, exactly with the influence that there are few polygons. It affects each other too much and so on, but here I made it roughly. Yes, I still need to adjust it here. When you press the clean button many times, it's even better than when you're leading. So closer here. So let's apply it. Okay, back into our skeleton and let's try to move it. Oh, there's a little bit more. So, and by the way, this bone here affects this bone. Here, by the way, you also need to remove the sensation. Influence too. But you'll need to work on it and see. Once you gain experience, you'll manage right away. can you work normally with bones and to draw and immediately understand what you need and which color and so on. There's a bit here on the tummy, there's something. Well, it's kind of a tedious task, but it's necessary. Applying. Back to the skeleton again. You see this? So there's a bit left here, but it's less now. And there's some at the front too. For instance, if we move the paw. But after all, it's still up there. See, we need to edit it and make sure your model worked perfectly, but that's old news. We should proceed slowly, step by step, do it here in front as well. Everything was left behind after all, right here. Well, generally speaking,
I think you understand.
That means now doing through any object has become very convenient. And then, after the exhibition was done, you can easily do skeletal animation or just do retargeting humanoids, for instance. Or say you have a four-legged dog animation and you've done it. Or do you have your little model? So you see, for example, I can animate this dolphin as if it's rubbery. Find an animation that fits.
Oh, is this fish?
Or the same dolphins or sharks, to name such bones. Like in that animation, to do retargeting and all, my rubbery dolphin can move like that dolphin. And in another animation, like a real one, for example, and so on. Well, you can see for yourselves. To make an animation. Later on, I'll release a video on creating animations. And we'll probably take this little dolphin and make it a basic animation for it. That's all for now. Hope this video was useful for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, and leave comments. This was XBT with you. Make games. Until we meet again. Yes, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. More subscribers, more videos. See you soon. Girls are being drawn.